Right, buddy, Manchester United lose 2-0 to Crystal Palace at home is another home defeat for Manchester United, another defeat in the Premier League. 2 goals conceded at home, another defeat, no clean sheet, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. A performance that lacked so much from start to finish by Manchester United, mainly when the 11. It was a weird selection by Amorim. We thought it would work, but there was just nothing going on from Manchester United. And Ineos, we've got 24 hours. We need to start bringing in some players because this is very, very poor. It was just a very sloppy performance by Manchester United, one that lacked more or less everything. It was disgraced again by this team. Again, I'm very, very disappointed. I thought, listen, on Martinez, I hope that injury is not serious. I hope he's fine and he does make a quick recovery, because that injury did not look good, and he's been one of Manchester United's best defenders. Listen, just nothing from the substitutions. The goals that we conceded, just very, very sloppy. Another set piece conceded. I mean, Crystal Palace had no corners in the game, but they still managed to score from a free kick. Like, it's just woeful by Manchester United. Just every single player. I thought mainly when in the false nine didn't work. I understand what Amorim was trying, because Højlund and Zirkzee haven't been good up there, but he was just very, very poor. Let's not get it confused. I think mainly the first 15 minutes were good, but the rest of it was just very, very sloppy. I thought the inside 10s, the wing backs, just were getting pinned back. Crystal Palace knew what to do when they played their game. Yes, we might have had more possession, but it's a disgraceful performance again. And I think you look at what we need for Manchester United. We just need, it's road to 41 points, and we've been saying that for a long time in the Premier League. It's just see if we can get 41 points, because listen, I know we have to be patient with Amorim, but it's another home defeat, and he's going to be frustrated because, listen, I think we do need some more attacking options. We're looking like we're bringing in Tell, but again, I don't even know if that's going to be enough, because there's just nothing going on. I thought defensively, again, there was, on that second goal, there was no cohesion. Yoro's going to play the offside, but Maguire's deep, and he plays everyone offside. Listen, it's frustrating. I think we will obviously bounce back, and you hope United can bounce back from this. I think Amorim, you look at this team, we need to get a wing back in. I thought Delo was very, very sloppy again today. A very, very poor performance. It was just very, very poor, and yeah, we've picked 14 points in 13 league games under Ruben Amorim. That is nowhere near good enough, and I'm sure he would be frustrated. The team is just nowhere near where you want it to be at the moment. Højlund coming off the bench, nothing. The chances were great. I mean, we did have a few in that first half. I mean, there was one that Garnacho made for Manu made for Garnacho, which he couldn't score. There was the one where Manu hit the post. Garnacho had a free. Bruno had that shot early in the second half. I thought we started that second half pretty well, and then it was when kind of Martinez came off. There was just nothing for Manchester United. And he's going to be a huge miss. I think if Martinez, he's injured, he's definitely not going to play the next game. We just seen by the way it was, it's going to be very, very, very frustrating. And I'm hoping that Martinez is fine and does make a quick recovery. But again, it was just no attacking quality. I thought Delo had probably another, listen, he had a good game against FCSB, but when you need him in the Premier League, it's ghosting, and a lot of these players have to be questioned. As I said, we needed to bring in players anyway, so we brought in Dorgu, but it's not really going to help. It's looking like Heaven's probably going to get minutes now with Martinez out for a long time, so listen, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But listen, Palace, they didn't really go out of second gear. They controlled the game, they were physical, they won the duels where they needed to be. Mateta scores 2 goals against United. Again, it was from a set piece, and the second goal, as I said, there's just no cohesion in the back line. Amorim will be so... It was just, there was just nothing. It was just such a boring game of football by Manchester United, and that's what we continue to see. There's no energy, and when you come up against these teams that ultimately are better than United at the minute, the Fulhams, the Brightons, the Bournemouths, the Crystal Palaces, the Brentfords, all these sorts of teams are much better than Manchester United, and you can see on the pitch when they play, there was just nothing happening for Manchester United. It was a disgraceful performance. It's just so poor again, and we're just making no progress this season. I understand we need more time on the training pitch, and that's something that we're going to get with Ruben Amorim in the next couple of weeks, but with no games. But it was just a very, very sloppy performance, and we definitely need to be bringing in players, whether that's Tell, whether that's Leon Bailey. Just get someone in that attacking department who's just going to offer something different. Because listen, Garnacho didn't have his greatest game again today. these sorts of players. Like, it was just a very, very frustrating performance, and the subs didn't change the game. As I said, I thought we started the game off well, some intricate football, nice 1-2s, these sorts of, and then they just went through, like, that second half, it was just nothing. We knew what was going to happen, and yeah, it was just a very, very poor performance. I think the low for me, performance was very poor, and I think he's someone who has to really be looked at. His only position in this team is right centre back. You're hoping now in the next game Torgu gets some training sessions in him, because we're going to need him. You could potentially see Ed in heaven for that comfortability at left centre back, see what happens with Luke Shaw. But yeah, it was just a very, very sloppy performance, and as I said, we've got some big games coming up in the league. We just need to get the road to 40 points and just leave it as that, because listen, there's no hope of getting to Europe. If we can win the Europa League, that'd be fantastic, but what's the likelihood of that happening? But just so poor. Crystal Palace have again beaten us, but it was expected. Listen, there was just something that we could, after the promising performance against FCSB. It was a weird team selection by Amorim. I thought what he should have done is put Xerxes in the number 11 in the striker position. I think he should have kept Mainu in the 10 and just worked from there. I mean, he changed up the formation, obviously something that he's probably saw in training. But again, I think going into the next game, we've got a huge FA Cup game. I know it's against Rude and it's against Leicester, who, listen, they're on some great form at the minute. We've played them before in the Carabao Cup, when we were actually managed by Rude. But this game against Crystal Palace was just so lacklustre. There was just nothing going on at all for Manchester United. In terms of stats, yes, we had more possession, but they had more expected goals. They had more, I mean, 2 shots on target again for Manchester United. I can't even kind of think what they were. Like, we're just so poor at the moment. And the attacking department, listen, the midfield and defence, yes, we conceded 2 goals, but we've shown in games we can do that. But in the last games, like, we're barely scoring any goals. In our last Premier League game, 1 goal against Fulham. The game before that, 1 goal against Brighton, 3 against Southampton, but that was just lucky. Like, we're not really scoring goals at the minute, and that would be the huge warning sign and concern for Ruben Amorim at the moment. As I said, he's going to get more time to train. I mean, we play Leicester in 5 days. Then after that, we've got a 9-day break until we play Tottenham, and then another 6-day break. So we have got breaks in between where we can actually train and work on what we're trying to do under Ruben Amorim, because, as I said, there's just a lack of chemistry, a lack of cohesion, and a lack of sort of impetus going on at the moment in this Manchester United team. And I'm sure Amorim's going to be very frustrated, as well as we are. Stay tuned for the player ratings. But another home defeat for Manchester United. I don't know where we are now in the table, probably 13th, I think. Let me just check. Table, we are, 13th. Palace now go above us. We've got -6 goal difference. And yeah, it's not looking good at the minute, but very, very poor performance, boring, every individual. All these players have to be called out. There was not one player today who showed anything half decent, but let's see what happens. Player ratings coming soon. That has been the match reaction. Peace.